Hello everyone, welcome to this session. At this juncture, I'm going to discuss to you the ternary operator or conditional operator in Java. So it's actually similar to this if statement. However, we will be using conditional or ternary operator instead of if condition. So let's get started by creating a class. Let's say this is ternary operator. So in Java, the ternary operators are represented with this one, no? So the question mark sign and then the colon sign. Okay, let's say for an instance, we would like to, let's say, create a program that will determine either a either an integer is add or even. Of course, there are a lot ways of there are actually a lot of algo for that. So let's say for an instance, we are going to ask a number from a user, and then let's assume it's zero, or let's say yeah, okay. And after that, you have an if condition here saying that if num modulus to 2 is equal to zero, or let's say equal to, yeah, it's equal to 0, and you say this is num is actually even. Okay, so num is even. Okay, so otherwise if it's not even, of course it is going to be it's add. Okay, so let's say for an instance the user inputs 2. So when the user inputs 2, and so there you are, 2 is even. So how is that possible that 2 is an even number? So as we all know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, as long as it's not bongking, so that's even number. Any number na bongking siya, meaning dili siya pairing, it's going to be add numbers. So basically, if we enter 3, add that's 3 is add. So how is that possible? Because of this modulus to 2. As we all know, when we actually perform, or when we actually read the num modulus to 2, so let's say num modulus to 2, we have that. So it's going to be 1. So meaning the result of this num modulus to 2 is actually 1. So which is this it's actually is based on like 3 divided by 2. That's actually that one. It's actually like that. 3 divided by 2. So when you divide 3 by 2, so it's actually 1. Okay. So and the result is, yeah, it's actually 1. Then 2 times 1 is 2. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. So uh, it's like 3 minus 2. And that's, it's equal to 1. So this is the remainder is 1. Okay, I mean the remainder is actually 1, and then you get this one uh, for this remainder operator, or shall we say this is I forgot, but this is a uh, mm, remainder operator. No, okay, I have this, there is this name, but I just forgot. Anyway, I will just mention if in case it will pop out in my mind. So again, you have here three modulus. Yeah, modulus. It's modulus operator. So when you divide, it's a division actually, but when the value of when you divide the number, okay, ano siya? Wait lang for a while. The difference kasi between like 3 divided by 2, the result for this one is if it's integer, probably 1.5. I mean 1 only, but if you use double, it's going to be 1.5. But actually, the result is actually 1 for 3 divided by 2. Okay? So that's actually the try natin, ano na to, 3 divided by 2. Ayan. So, the result of this one is actually 1, while this one is, I guess it's still 1, But if you are going to like include point there, it's actually going to be 1.5 because it's going to follow the because it's a mixed expression. There is, I mean, there mix yeah, values. You have two this I mean, this is decimal, so it follows that it will also display decimal point. So that's the difference between the two. This one returns the remainder, modulus operator, while this one returns the value. So the value when you divide 3 by 2 is 1.5, and then the remainder when you divide 3 by 2 is actually 1. Actually, okay. So actually, when you divide any number by 2, it's always going to be 1 when it is an odd number. It's always going to be, no matter how big, I guess it is, let's say 4 or let's say 50. So of course the result for this one is 0 because it's even. So it's 25.0. Let's say if this is 51, the result for this one is 1, no? Okay, the result for when you divide 51 by 2, it's going to be, the remainder is always 1. Okay? So that's why it's when you have 51 here, the first um, the first expression right here, nam modulus 22 is 51. Nam modulus 51 modulus 22 is actually, the result is like 1. Is it equal to 0? So of course, it is false. Therefore, it is going to execute the black state with the else black statement, which is num is add, so 51 is add. So in a similar way, in similar manner, let's say you have here 66. So 66 divided by 2, that's actually uh, 30, like 33. Oh yeah, 33. So 33 times 2 is 66. Therefore, you have a 0 remainder for that. So since 0 siya ang result, so 0 is equal to 0 is actually true. Therefore, it's going to display even. 66 is actually even number. Now, for in the event that the user enters 0, remember that 0 is actually not an add or nor an even. So for that matter, you have to include addition, additional condition for like num is equal to 0. It's going to be, so this should be else if. So this is, so num is an origin. So in this case, if the user enters 0 in your program, so 0 will always be origin. So before it will process at least the first block of if statement indicates that the this if user enters 0, then it is an origin. Then the rest of the else and else if and else block statement in this if condition will not be read by your compiler. So basically, that's how you do it. For at least you are following the mathematical syntax or the grammar or the rules in mathematics, that all 0 must not be even nor an add. It's an origin or it's a 0 number. All right. So now, where is this uh, conditional operator? So actually, the conditional operator is going to be like this. So let's say for an instance, you have here string hold is equal to, let's say, num. So using conditional operator, we will convert this into a conditional operator. So we have an expression here, num. Let's say, let's not include muna num is equal to 0. So we have here num less than, num modulus to 2 is equal to 0. It's going to be, if that is true, then it's going to have to display num is even. Otherwise, num is actually odd. So note that in your program or in your statement, you have here that says num is even. This is this would mean this that this statement, if this is true, no, if this statement is true, then num is even after the this first conditional operator, which is question mark, is going to be assigned to hold or pass through hold. Otherwise, if this is not true, or let's say it's false, it's not going to have this as a value. Rather, it will jump to this one as an else statement, or it's like actually an else statement, and it will be passed to the whole value. Therefore, when we run the program by just doing it like that, so now you have uh, and because we have 0 here, let's say 6. So 6 is even. This is the work. This is actually the work of the first state. The first display is actually the output of this one, while the second is the output of this one. So eventually, we're able to make our program a lot. Yeah. Well, this one is actually it's a lot readable. It's readable compared to this one, but this one is uh, as simple at the same time lesser, no, lesser codes compared to this one. Okay, so that's actually the conditional operator. So one thing you will have to take note right here is that whenever is the destination is string, it should be, yeah, the display should be, I mean the one that you are going to pass is also a string. So string, if in case you want to, like, you want to do it like boolean, so make sure you pass through the right value, or it's either true or false. But it does not make sense because this would actually result true or false. But what I'm trying to elaborate here, if it depends on what you actually use. If this is int, then therefore either you use 1 or either you use 0, or like that, it's 0 and this is like even. But again, it doesn't make sense at all. So you'll have to, so since para directly we can display, our target here is to display either a number is even or odd. So why not use string instead, to so that this hold would could now being assigned a value after this one is evaluated either to true or false. So again, if this is evaluated to true, this would get this value. Otherwise, this would get this value. Now, we can actually nest this one. So as you can see, if our input is like z, it's say, let's say 0. Okay, so 0 is even. So compared to this one, it's actually has 0 has actually a separate, parang it's separate block of statement for that, which is, at least this one is correct. So we can actually nest our program, our code or statement right here by saying if num1 is equal to 0, so we can actually display that the num is actually origin. Okay, all right. So after that, then you can actually remove this para dili na lang ta mag-unsanin. So like dili na lang ta na, sorry. Dili na ta butsang butsang num is like num is old. Okay. So num is either if it's origin, even, or add. So we have here is origin. Then since it has to be nested, therefore you'll have another statement right here saying that if it's not origin, therefore you will have another statement saying that if num modulus to 2 is going to be an even number, therefore, okay, wait for a while, let me uh, so ayan, para mas so this is going to be If this is the case, this is even, and then you should be using this one right here is even, and then this one here is add. Yeah. So let's remove the num because we already have num here in system.out. So that's actually you can actually what they call this one. You can actually group them together para it would be mas okay ang reading. But okay, it's actually okay to have like this. So, atong ibalik and then observe nato what happens right here. So, whenever the num is equal to 0 is true, it will go store directly is origin. So, hold will be is origin. So, display niya num is origin plus which is the value of hold. But if in case or in any case that if a number is not 0, therefore it will go directly here in the false statement or another statement. And then once it reaches here, there's another couple of another expression saying that if number is modulus to 2, if it's equal to 0, it's even. So if it's even, it will assign is even to hold. Otherwise, if not even, then it's going to get the add. So example 0 is 0 is equal to 0, true. So therefore, it will get the origin. The value of the hold is actually origin. Ayan. So let's say for an instance, we have 6 or 8. So is 8 is 8 equal to 0? False. That's why ani siya dire. Now it will go here is 8 modulus to 2 is equal to 0. So since it's false, okay, since it's true rather because when you divide 8 by 2 the remainder is 0. Now it's going to get the even. So therefore the value of for that one is actually even. Okay, and then let's say for an instance this is 9, and then before we run, so let's say 9 equal to 0, false. Is 9 modulus to 2 is equal to 0. When you divide 9 by 2, it's not going to be 0 because when you divide 9 by 2, it's actually 4, no? 4, which is 4 times 2 is 8, 9 minus 1, 9 minus 8 is actually 1. Therefore, the value, the result or is not 0, is not equal to 0. Therefore, it's add. It's going to store add in hold. So therefore, when we run the program, you have here 9 is add. So again, the very goal of this one is if you can make your code better and shortened compared to others, then go for it. As long as it's giving the correct answer, it doesn't matter. So you have here two different ways of doing that. So you can at least you're able to provide different solution or algorithm in this particular problem. So if you are going to ask me, sir, can we do nested or nesting in the conditional operator? Yeah, actually this one is a nested operator. And then can we do more? Yes, you can do more. Only that it will be complex on it will be more complex because it will be very difficult for you to like trace which particular let's say actually kaya naman like katong age ganina if we want the to use the conditional operator like age to determine if it is in childhood, it is in minor, adulthood, senior. We can actually do that. All you just need to do is follow the formula. Again, this is the true part. Sorry. So we have here the expression. So expression normally is something that being evaluated. So if that expression is true, you put this is the value. If that is next is false. So also with this kind of like expression or something like the statement, you can group them together. Para it would be okay if you are going to nest like another one is let's say so this is the expression, and then if you are going to nest so probably this is another expression. And then in the another expression, you will have another true statement. And then if in case you have another, you can actually have another expression again, and then you can have another true again, true. And then if you don't want to nest it anymore, you have the false. I mean, yeah. So what is this all about? So the false here is for this expression. The true here is for this expression. The true here is for this expression. The false here is for this expression, which is it's either if what's the result of this, either true or false, it's going to be the result of this expression. Okay. I mean, it's going to be because this expression is false, then therefore it has to look for another expression which is going to evaluate either true or false. And whatever is the value for true or false, that's going to be something that is being passed to a variable. Okay, so I guess that's all for today. Thank you guys for joining in and have a great day. See you guys next week, next session.